Welcome to the Business Blitz podcast. We're here with Dan Magazu. Dan, why don't you give us a quick introduction on yourself and your business?
Yeah, hey everyone, I'm Dan Magazu. I'm the owner of Ride the Wave. We're an organic Facebook marketing company for home service businesses where we specialize in Facebook group marketing.
Awesome. So, what do you specialize in? I'm assuming you have clients in different industries, right? Do you have any main industries that you kind of specialize in?
Yeah, so we work with, I would say 90% of our clients in the home service industry. So we work with a lot of roofers, a lot of landscapers, home improvement companies, painting companies, garage floor epoxy, and then a few other industries that wouldn't say are home service. So we have a auto mechanic, we have a sports coach, uh, we have an addiction treatment facility, we work with a restaurant chain. So we do a lot of work for small local businesses. It doesn't have to be home service based, but that is our specialty.
Awesome. So, I'd like to talk a little bit about how you started the company. What was your journey getting started, getting off the ground?
Yeah, so the journey actually begins 5 years ago. I was a freshman in college and COVID had just begun. So what happened is we all got sent home from university and my parents wouldn't let us hang out with our friends indoors. Uh, so me and a few buddies decided that we'd start a landscaping business. We had all worked in the industry the year prior, and thought it'd be a fun way to hang out and make some money. Uh, so I knew that all the girls in my grade they would post to the local Facebook groups to get uh, babysitting jobs. So I thought, why not try the same thing out for the newly created landscaping business? Posted something super simple like, "Hey, I'm Dan. Uh, Starting a landscaping business. I'm home from college for the summer and trying to raise some funds with a few of my friends." And like 15 people had reached out to me from that one simple post in my local hometown Facebook group. So that was the start of the landscaping business. I ran that business every single year when I was home from college during the summers. And every year I would improve upon my Facebook strategy and continue on scaling the landscaping business. So in May of 2023, I graduated school and I had always wanted to continue down the entrepreneurship route. So instead of getting a job, decided to stick with the landscaping company. So what happened is I really scaled up the Facebook approach. Instead of just posting to my local towns, I was posting to every single town I was willing to go to. Uh, and it went really well that summer. Um, so my landscaping company is primarily mulching focused. So in New England, that season runs from May to early August. Um, I now no longer had school to get go back to, and I had always been pretty good at this organic Facebook stuff. So I offered my services, Facebook services, for the first time to a local guy in my hometown who was just starting a home improvement company, and I also had a friend on Twitter who had a custom built pergola company. So I started Facebook marketing for them in September, and that's when Ride the Wave was born. Uh,
Wow.
from September to January, I just did work for those two people, just sort of as a test, see how it went, and went really well. And I figured out that I could replicate this not only for my landscaping business, but for these two other people as well. So in January, I asked for referrals. They sent them my way. In February, I started writing case studies on Twitter, um, which led to a whole new drove of clients. April-ish, I broke into a few franchises, including the Bumble Roofing franchise, which started sending me a bunch of Bumble Roofing clients. And long story short, we've grown mostly through referrals up till now. We actively help out over 60 businesses with
Wow.
their Facebook.
That's tremendous. Congratulations. That's awesome. We kind of have a similar story in which we both graduated college and then we both said, screw the corporate journey. We're just going to go be our own bosses right off the bat. So I love to hear that. And your
Yep.
story is actually kind of similar to Bodie Gallows. Bodie was just on the podcast. He has a dumpster rental business, or he had it. He just sold it to private equity. And he kind of started a digital marketing agency called Striker Digital to help with his dumpster rental business in New York City. But then that's blown up so much that he's focusing on that full time now. So interesting transition between the core service business, like hand boots on the ground, physical, into like a digital agency offering.
Yeah, definitely. And Bodie's a great guy too. I know him pretty well. Um, yeah, very similar, me and you. I had a few internships during college, uh, and enjoyed them, but I had always enjoyed being my own boss more, which
Yeah,
sort of led me down this route.
definitely. Year
Because
one, let's talk clients then. So year one, how
yeah,
many clients did you have? Year two, three, let's talk about that progression.
uh, so we're still in. So this is basically I really didn't start scaling Ride the Wave until this year.
Oh, okay.
Um, so I guess we started with two clients in our first year, and now we're at 60 plus in the first full year of business. For landscaping, I guess I can try to think about numbers for that. Um, our first year, we probably mulched 20 yards, and then the next year was probably like 30 and then 40. And then when I did it full time, I think we mulched over 100 yards. So it was a steady progression there.
Nice. Yeah, at Ride the Wave, that 2 to 60 is pretty insane.
Yeah.
That's a lot of fulfillment. It's a lot of fulfillment. How are you handling all of that demand?
So with Facebook and Facebook groups, it requires a ton of work. Uh, you have to find all the Facebook groups. You have to manually post to every single one of these Facebook groups. You have to come up with content to post in all of these groups. You have to write business page content to write to the Facebook business page. Uh, we primarily use overseas labor. So we have a team of, I think, 22 people overseas now. Um, we do all the recruiting ourselves. It's a lot of work finding good quality, um, driven people overseas, but we do it and they're amazing.
Yeah. If you're listening to this right now, you might know that I'm also a huge advocate for offshore hiring. I have experience hiring from the Philippines, Mexico, Pakistan, looking in South Africa right now, actually just about to hire someone from there. So tons of incredible talent offshore for huge cost savings versus a domestic hire. What are your favorite countries to hire from, Dan?
Uh, so right now we hire from the Philippines, Pakistan, and India as our three favorite countries. Uh, we've also hired from South Africa, uh, Nigeria, and I'm not sure if there's another, but we've also hired from South Africa and Nigeria.
What's your experience with those two countries? Because I don't have experience there.
With South Africa and Nigeria,
Yeah.
um, honestly, I don't have a ton of experience. So we have one team member from Nigeria. She's actually amazing. Uh, she helps write content. And when she first started out, she needed work, but now I would say she is potentially our best content writer.
Wow.
Um, she's great, um, and literally don't have any complaints about her, but
That's
she's solid.
awesome. That's great. Okay, I want to hear about what your process is to acquire clients. Are you getting everyone through referrals or are there other channels as well?
Yeah, so our two main acquisition sources are referrals and Twitter. So the way referrals work, um, whenever we actually haven't sent a message out like this in a while, um, a lot of our existing customer base comes in through referrals, just without even me incentivizing our clients. But when we really want new customers, uh, I'll send out a message like, "Hey, 10% off your monthly bill if you can refer someone to work with us. Just create a group chat, and I'll take it from there." Um, that works really well to incentivize the clients who like our service. Just share it off so they can pay less. And then also, I'll occasionally post a case study on Twitter nowadays, where I'll just take people through what we've done for someone and just say at the end of it, reply groups if you want this process implemented from yourself. Uh, typically, like, I don't know, in between like 5 and 20 people will comment groups, and I'll communicate with them in the DMs to see if it's a good fit for them.
It's that easy, huh?
Yeah.
Once you get the ball rolling, man, that's fantastic. How hard was it going from 2 clients to that 3rd and maybe that 5th client?
Um, well, it was back when I was very much more involved in the process. So I had a very deep relationship with some of my early clients. So it was easy for me to be like, "Hey, can you please help me out? Send something my way."
Mhm.
Or, "Hey, do you mind if I post what we're doing on social media to get more traction?" They would always be like, "Yes." So um, I think it was the jump from 30 to 60 clients was harder because at that point we're experiencing churn, and having to train a large group of new employees and um, get them to be able to do it like I can. Um, so that jump was definitely a harder learning curve for me. But I would
Yeah,
just say, starting out, try to develop the deepest relationship with your clients as possible so that they can be your biggest supporter.
got it. I would like to talk about churn actually now that you mentioned it. What are some tactics to reduce churn? And yeah, just talk to me about that.
Did I lose you? I'm
No,
sorry.
I still got you.
All right. Yeah, so this is actually a topic we've been working on a lot. Um, one thing to reduce churn is just get better results. Uh, if you get them better results, they're usually more happy and more likely to keep paying you. Number two, just having a more professional experience, that meaning professional monthly reports, uh, ensuring that you meet with clients monthly, uh, just overall more professional feel,
Mhm.
uh, trying to be as organized as possible and making sure uh, that they are heard and you're listening to their feedback. Uh, what else helps? We offer very robust communication with our clients, so we're available over text 24, not 24/7, but if you text us, we're going to answer in a few hours. Um, that helps them feel heard and makes them want to stay because we feel like we're partners, we're answering all their questions timely, and that has also helped tremendously.
Yeah, how does that text communication work? So if you have 60 clients and you're able to text them, they're able to text you. How do you keep that organized?
Yeah, so we use open phone. So uh, uh, open phone allows us to invite team members to our phone. Uh, we have a project manager and then also a director that is directly involved in making sure clients are answered over text immediately. So there's two people whose jobs are partly just to make sure that they're answering the text and getting the clients the information that they need.
Hmm, gotcha. Still seems like it's could get messy. Have you experienced that? And you no?
It gets somewhat messy. So there's some clients who prefer email. Um, So just like keeping track of where clients are situated. But overall, it's not too messy. We use Asana for project management, so we try to
Okay.
create tasks for anything that gets brought up in the text. Um, our project manager is amazing. Like he doesn't really ever drop the ball.
Nice.
So it's a lot on him. Like even if I was managing 60 clients over text personally, um, I would definitely drop the ball on some things. But he's very good at like, all right, this client wants this. I'm going to put this in the Slack. I'm going to put this in Asana, um, and just sort of reporting that back and then responding properly to the client.
Gotcha. That actually kind of brings me to another question. You said your project manager is a killer. What do you look for when recruiting an employee like a project manager? And how did you, yeah, what does that recruiting process look like?
Yeah, so I actually didn't recruit him for project manager. He originally came in. I interviewed him for a role, and I didn't think he was a good fit. Um, he was pretty persistent, and I was like, "Hey, listen, you want to try something out on a commission basis?" And he was like, "Sure." So he ended up trying that out, honestly, with not too much success. And but from the get-go, I could just see he was an incredibly hard worker. He was trying new things out every day, um, doing things I didn't see in a typical employee. So I was like, hey, we're going to bring you on. Not sure what to do, but he originally came on as sort of an assistant to me. Uh, I trained him on how to onboard clients, uh, how to manage accounts, that sort of thing. And he was crushing it. So I kept giving him more and more responsibilities. Uh, and eventually, I allowed him to take over from me to start texting the clients. So
Mhm.
I started monitoring him every day. Eventually, figured out he was quicker at it than I was and better at it than I was. And I was like, all right, you're the new project manager. You can do 100 things at once. You're perfect for the role. So
Yeah,
kind of happened accidentally.
that's great. That's an awesome story. You really want to bring in people who are good at what they do because as the owner, there are going to be other people who are better at specific projects, specific tasks than you are, and you also don't want to get bogged down in doing literally everything in the business because you can't grow. So
Right.
finding those key hires like that person sounds like a huge key hire is crucial.
Huge key hire.
Yeah. Okay. I want to hear, I throw a little curveball at you, but not too bad. I want to hear about if there's any books you recommend for business owners.
Okay, books. Hold on. Let me. I think the first like really important book that had a big impact on me as a business owner was Traction, which is the book about EOS, entrepreneurial operating system. I don't have it fully implemented with my business, but the book gives you good frameworks to setting up your business um, to succeed. So we took out of that book, I took out the core values part of that. So we made core values, have a mission, all that fun stuff. We have team weekly meetings and leadership meetings and an attempt at a scorecard. So it gives you a good framework for setting up your business that I really enjoy. Uh, so that's a good one. And then I recently read a book that was recommended from Tribe, which you're a part of, Colin, which is just a peer group um, for entrepreneurs. And the book was called Purple Cow. I feel like I resonated with it a lot. So Purple Cow um, teaches you how to stand out as a business and how to make that sort of standing out your prime form of marketing and how to grow organically through that. I think it's super
Nice.
valuable
Yeah, I
book.
have. That's awesome. I actually haven't had the chance to read either of those yet, but they're definitely on my list for
Yeah,
sure.
cool. Cool. You should
I'll
definitely
let you
read
know.
AOS.
Yeah, will do. All right, Dan, that's all we have for you today. Really appreciate you coming on the Business Blitz podcast. For the listeners, we're going to drop some links in the video below. So if you want Facebook groups, marketing, especially if you're a home service business, Dan's your guy, and hit him up. Thanks for coming on, Dan.
Cool. Yeah, thank you, Colin. You can find any information about me on Twitter at Danny Magazu. Magazu spelled Magazu. Also can check us out at www.ridethewave.info.com. Oh, wait, no. Right, sorry. www.ridethewave.info.
Awesome. Hit him up, guys. Thanks, Dan, for coming on.
Thank you, Colin.
Thanks for watching. If you found value in this video, click subscribe below for more business content just like this.